They say family is forever, but mine had an expiration date. It happened on an ordinary Sunday, the kind that smells like coffee and old furniture. We were sitting around my brother's dining table in Charlotte, North Carolina, laughing, pretending to be happy. And then, in a voice that could slice through glass, my sister-in-law, Claire, said it. "You know, Emma, you've always been so different. All these big ideas, all your talk about moving to New York or starting your own business, it's a bit much. This family values stability. Maybe you'd be happier. Somewhere else. 2 words. Soft, polite. But they hit harder than any scream ever could. I looked across the table at my brother, the one who used to protect me from bullies, who once promised that, no matter what, we're a team. He didn't say a word, didn't even look at me. That silence, it was my eviction notice. That night, I packed my things. No one stopped me. The house that once smelled like Sunday dinners and laughter now just smelled like goodbye. I moved into a tiny apartment on the edge of town, one creaky floorboard away from giving up completely. I kept waiting for someone to call. No one did. Weeks passed. Work, sleep, repeat. The days blurred into a quiet that felt heavier than loneliness. One rainy afternoon, I opened the old trunk my mother had left me and found something I hadn't seen in years. My dad's old toolbox. He used to build furniture in the garage when I was a kid. I could still hear him saying, "If it's broken, you don't cry about it. You fix it. And if you can't fix it, you build something new." I bought a few planks of wood from a thrift yard, borrowed a drill from my neighbour, and started building a small coffee table. I didn't know what I was doing. The first few attempts were disasters. The wood split. The nails bent. My hands bled. But for the first time in months, I felt something other than pain. I felt alive. Each hammer strike became therapy. Each piece of sandpaper smoothing the rough edges felt like smoothing the cracks inside me. I wasn't just building furniture, I was rebuilding myself. Over time, things began to change, quietly, like dawn creeping in. There was Sarah, the single mum down the hall, who brought me cookies because she heard the hammering. There was Jordan, my co-worker, who stopped by one evening to help me paint the table legs and ended up staying for hours, talking about everything and nothing. And there was Mia, my old college friend, who called me one night out of the blue just to say, "I miss you. Let's start that little shop you always dreamed about." These people, they weren't my family by blood, but they showed up, they cared. And in their laughter, in their kindness, I started to find pieces of home again. A year later, I opened my own small woodworking studio, homemade. It wasn't big or fancy, but it was mine. My hands had built every shelf, every table, every sign on the wall. The shop became a community. People would walk in not just to buy furniture, but to share their stories, their heartbreaks, their beginnings. And sometimes when I'd see a lonely woman standing at the counter, unsure of where she belonged, I'd smile and say, "You belong here." One evening, as I was closing up, I got a message. It was from my brother. He said Claire wanted a new dining table. She'd heard I'd started building furniture. He asked if I'd consider making one. For a long time, I stared at that message. Part of me wanted to ignore it, to hold on to the hurt. But instead, I took a deep breath and typed back, "I don't build tables for people who make others feel unwelcome, but I can teach you how to build your own." And I meant it. Now, when people ask me about my family, I smile. Because my family isn't made of people who share my DNA. It's made of people who show up, who see me, who stay. who helped me build. My family is Sarah with her cookies. It's Jordan, who still shows up every Saturday to help me paint. It's Mia, who runs our shop's social media and reminds me to dream bigger. They're not tied to me by blood. They're tied by love, by choice. So, yes, she wanted me out of the family. But what she didn't know is that she set me free to build one stronger than anything I'd ever known. A family made of laughter, of scars, of shared coffee, and midnight repairs. A family that doesn't just fit me, it sees me. Because sometimes losing where you came from is how you find where you belong. She wanted me out of the family, so I built my own, eh? And this one, it's unbreakable if this story touched your heart. Please like, share, and subscribe.